Okay, last part of this. Now that we're done with the whipping, we're going to trim off these two ends sticking out here. And I suppose if you're using a nail clipper or a smaller dike, you could trim those ends off a little bit cleaner than that. But this is where the next step comes, and where your opportunity to distinguish yourself comes along. If you chop this off as it is, as these ends ravel, they'll become uneven, and there's no way to make that look even and uniform. It's just not going to happen. So what you have to do is cut it off, comb them out with the needle, put another constrictor knot on there, and then cut it again after all of these strands have unlaid and gone straight. How long should this be? Well, in the Marlin Spikes Sailor, Herbie Garrett Smith says no less than 3/8 of an inch long. Obviously, this is proportional to the size of the line. If you're working with 1/4 inch line and you're leaving a long 3/8 inch tail on there, that's just going to be ridiculous. But if you're working with a larger diameter, I would reason that it's proportional to the size of the line. I like to go about the same length as the diameter. You can go shorter if you like, but either way, we'll just demonstrate here what happens, how uneven this end really gets when as it unravels. And again, this is only a very small detail, the sort of thing that you'll only want to do on a very fine yacht when your work is going to be gazed upon by many, and or you just really don't want to have to look at ugliness. So we'll comb out these strands here about as best as I can tolerate for an old piece of fishing harbor hauser. It's just laying around every day. And now that we have that unlaid, everything's well raveled there. Again, the amount of time at your disposal, if you're underway on a long passage and you're trying to stay awake at the helm, stand watch, you can do this as meticulously as you want. But for this, that's more than adequate. Now I'll just, once again, clap a sizable constrictor on here. And this one doesn't have to be particularly tight. It just has to hold these strand ends while we cut them. And that keeps them from flattening out again and give us a cleaner cut. And this is usually where I get this. I end up cutting these crooked for whatever reason. But we'll see how this one goes.